today. So super excited to have you here. This has been an absolute pleasure to be part of Team Tuck and part of season 4. Today, we're wrapping up season 4. Can't hardly believe it. But I want to start in and saying welcome to the Ultimate Coach Book Reading event in community. Taking a moment to acknowledge our most amazing Amy Hardison and Alan D. Thompson for their magnificent commitment for creating this book. Also want to say thank you to Steve for being the example for all of us and allowing them to do that. So you can give this gift to each and every one of us and everybody that's yet to get a hold of it. The Book of Being continues to be the seeds that we're planting internationally, being around the world. It's creating an impact and a ripple effect on those who are willing to read this book about themselves. So today, chapter 39, a note from none other than Steve Hardison. And I just want to say thank you, Steve, for saying yes to us and for reading a note from you, Steve Hardison. It's such a treat to have you read for us today, reading from the Book of Being entitled The Ultimate Coach. This is a co-created space, and we are so excited for you to join us so you can go deeper with your experience in this space when we explore being in community. Whew. I'm just so excited and so blessed for this day. I can't even tell you guys. My energy is like woo-hoo, off the charts. Oh, but as we begin today, I want you guys to drop in the chat. And I just want you to say, what is it that being in this space has done for you this season? What has the book reading done for you? So if you could just drop that into the chat, I'd love to see how this is impacting. Ooh, I'm seeing saved my life. Woo! Created miracles, expansion, focus on being versus doing. Being me. Oh, I see a thank you, Jacob. Yes, thank you, Jacob. Hello, Sketchy's in the house. Woo! Heck yeah. Oh, giving you encouragement, love, and gratitude feels like home. Cheryl Smith, amen. This is family. This is home. Been here a couple times, opened my heart further. Yeah, being seen and heard. Like, this is the place. Oh, helping me be listening better, being present, expanding your perspective, being authentic to me. Oh my God, I love these. You guys, these are amazing. Loving me, forgiving me, expanding my being. Love, love, love. Oh my gosh, more possibilities, all the things. Look at this chat, guys. This is amazing. Holy cow. I'm going to definitely have to save this. Oh, appreciation, gratitude for so many people. Oh, gift of community. That's on. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Okay, there's so many. Oh, that's so good. You guys, this is such a sacred space for me. It has been my rock when I came into this last season. Ooh, yeah, I, I get it. It saved me as well. It's grown me. It's helped me be. It's helped me discover who I am. It's helped me grow. And for each and every one of you, I hope that you can take that away. And as we get ready to move forward into the next season, we're going to be asking what it is that you're looking for this community and how we can continue to grow you. But I want to jump into the next question, and I want to find out, put in the chat what you're most grateful for, the lesson on your journey through the book. How has this book impacted your journey? Gifted my life completely. Self-love and empowerment through love. It's made life simple and powerful. For me, it's helped me learn how to love myself so I can love everyone around me, those that I haven't met yet. First line of my document. I am love. Woo! Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Team Tuck. Thank you, Tuck family. Connectedness, empowerment. Forgiving myself has been my greatest gift. Ooh, love that. Grateful for this muscle called being. Oh, yeah, love that. We are the ultimate coach. Woo, we are that. We are one. Thank you, Tuck family. You're welcome. We love you. Joy of creation, loving kindness. Everything is possible with this. Renate, yes. Yes. Oh, so amazing. You're in charge of being creation of your life. Yes. Guys, this is amazing. Possibility. There's so much. Oh, keep dropping that stuff in the chat. That's all gold right there, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue on because we've got amazing stuff that we want to do today. But I want to take a moment to acknowledge each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence is so valued in this co-created space. And as Steve offers us to consider the intention for this amazing book reading, to expand your state of being, we request that when you read about you. When you're listening, you listen about yourself. And when you share about you. This is all about you and who you're being. So I'd like to just share the beautiful statement by Byron Katie. All we experience about anyone else is the idea that we have of them. Please be aware that as you are sharing, and if you start to share from an idea that's about somebody else, we're lovingly going to pull you back in and ask you to share about you. Because again, all about you. So thank you for being here with us as we wrap up season 4. And I'm going to pass this over to Tanya, and we are going to get this party started. Woo! Let's go.
Thank you, Elizabeth. What a beautiful intro. And I am so excited to be with so many of you beautiful beings on such a beautiful, pivotal day, coming off of just an extraordinary experience that Steve was also a part of yesterday that I know we'll hear more about. So at this time, though, I would like to acknowledge you, Steve, for saying yes to being here and keeping this commitment today. It is truly honorable and extraordinary. You set the example to all of us. So I thank you for that. And I would love to invite 2 people, one that would like to read the back of the book and someone that would like to read the before you begin. Yes, Steve. Yes.
You're still on mute there, Steve.
You have to unmute.
I apologize. Apparently you didn't get my text. I requested if it's okay. I would love to read the back and the front of the book since the note from Steve is so short. And I'd like to do something with reading the back and the front. So I don't want to cut somebody out you already asked. So apparently I sent him a text, and I'm okay not to, but I requested that maybe you'd allow me to read the back and the front.
Absolutely, Steve. And I apologize. I go into sacred preparation prior to our calls,
Yes,
and I don't answer
that's
calls.
on me.
So I apologize. However, I would love to invite you, but before you do get started with that, we have a special grounding and opportunity for us to be led into our hearts by Karen Rosenberg. So
Yeah,
Karen,
sure.
could you please start us off then before Steve reads the back of the book, the before you begin, and a note from him? Can you raise your electronic hand so you come straight to the front so I can see you?
Recording in progress.
Karen. Right, let me find you in a different way. Yes. There we go.
Hello.
Perfect, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. And this is such a gift for me to be here with you and share my vibrations, and invite you all to ground ourselves together into the vessel of our being, so that when we are with Steve, when we are with the words about me, about you, about all of us, our cellular listening is awake and open. And also, this is a very precious, I'm super excited because before I even read the book, I saw the video that Steve speaks about the book. And as I was walking in the streets of, in the park of Amsterdam, for those who don't know me, I've been a professional performing artist and a choreographer for 22 years. And my body and my being told me that it's time for me to shift from being on stage and create my body, my being beyond the realm of the theater. And as I was listening to Steve, as he was interviewed about how to read the book, I didn't really know what he was speaking about. My body just picked up these vibrations, and I felt that I want to express love with my movement. And I was invited for one of my last shows, and I was in the studio, and I shared with Steve, when I'm going to finish this book, I want to dedicate a dance and share it from my heart to yours. And this is the moment that we are, first of all, collectively bringing it together. And at the end, if you will allow me, I would love to share a dance, even though it's virtually. This is something that I was already embodying a year ago as I was dancing in the studio in March. And I was like, how would it feel like to dance from love? That every movement that I make with my body, every fiber that is shifting, it emulates love and radiates it. And because this is the last reading for this time, I want to create a radical presence. And my butt, my booty, my rear end is like, as you can see, it's divorced from chairs. Like they don't sink very well in it. So I invite all of us, if you can, if you're comfortable. Dave, I saw that you're driving, so please stay parked. And I invite all of us to stand up. Really, let's all of us stand up together. And I'm gonna put myself a bit in the back so you can see my body, even also my feet.
We can see us dancing.
Look at her legs.
Yeah, wow.
Look at those legs. Look at those legs.
Yeah.
These are my thighs, yes.
Yes,
look at this.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open the cells of our being. This is a book about being, and our body is carrying the being. So this is the vessel that we live in. This is the body that we move. And I invite all of us to simply place your feet underneath your shoulders a bit wider, and take a really deep breath and ground yourself underneath your skin. Let's take another deep breath and sink even further inside your skin. We're gonna start building our presence. And if you're feeling cold, I invite you to close your eyes and really allow yourself to come into this present moment, home into you. Start shifting the weight from one leg to the other. Bring a gentle bend behind your knees. Beautiful. And if your brain is getting busy, take a deep breath and smoke the shit out. Every time you witness the chatter, smoke it out. Let's ignite our feet. Every foot has a small flame. Ignite it as you shift the weight. And allow this energy and vibration to travel with flow. Expand it. Beautiful. Let's take a big collective breath from the essence of our being. Inhale. Let the breath move and flow. Beautiful. Let's repeat it again. Inhale. And exhale. Flow. Now let's allow this flame to climb higher into our pelvis like a big burning flame. Ignite the core, the center of our being from within. Beautiful. Inhale again and bring more presence. Let's invite the flame, the energy to travel higher into our hearts. And let's bring a bit of a dance in our hearts. Undo your shoulder blades. Allow the clavicles to caress the sternum and allow the heart to ground backwards. So you are deeply seated inside. And from within, open. Inhale. Let's open together and go back. And again, inhale. Open. Let's charge higher now. Let's allow the flame, the energy to travel through our throat. Charge behind the eyeballs. And ignite even further the presence from within. Inhale. And charge. Push it out. Let things go. Inhale again. And so I'm going to be a bit radical. And there is an exercise that I'm calling throwing shit out. Before we go deeply in, can we throw shit out? Are you up for it?
Yes.
Yes? Yes? Okay. So we're going to imagine that we're peeling a layer that is unwanted energy. So we inhale, lift, 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 and exhale, throw it to the galaxy and beyond. Shah! Yes. Get a bit lighter. Yes. Let's do it again. One more time. Inhale, peel whatever you don't want inside the vessel. Lift, 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 even from your back, and throw. Far away. 2 more times. Let's make it count. Really intentional. Peel the shit off. And push it far out. One last time. Let's get a bit lighter. A bit of a shimmy shake. Yes. Inhale. And find some lightness. Let's create this moment that we've created, all of us together, as a way to be present with the words and also with the energy that's traveling inside, with the way we are present. Do I have time to dedicate a dance for Steve, Tanya?
How long is it?
It's gonna be 4 minutes. Is it okay?
Steve, would you like to do the dance now or at the end?
Whichever she prefers, whatever. I'm just here.
My body is warm, as you can see. So,
Go for it, Karen. Go for it.
and as you witness my body moving, it's about you. So I want you to feel, or I invite you to experience your body as if my body is yours and you are me. And this is a special song. This is a song that I would put every time before I'd go on stage, and I would dance. It would just allow me to transcend. And this is a dedication to create my dance in life with you and in every awakened moment. And here we go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
boy.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Karen. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing being through such a powerful expression as it flowed through your skin, through your body, through your veins, through your cells. Oh, thank you. I could feel it on this end. How about it, everyone? Show her some love.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this generosity and for this time. And I want to thank Sachin for being relentless, talking about Steve, and for Steve for such a open, heartfelt invitation for me to be here with you, with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Grab some water, sweetheart, and stay with us, please, if you can. Beautiful. All right, Steve, I invite you to, if you would raise your electronic hand, if possible, come straight to the front.
So we can get up front.
Excellent. Oh, my bad. There you go. All right. Thank you, Stacy, for your powerful presence and everything that you have been a part of creating and supporting. Want to send you an honor of acknowledgement. Thank you for who you're being. And Steve, I would love to pass it over to you and you can take it from here. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to stay with what we've done and have someone read the back of the book and the front of the book. And that someone will be me this time. And I may speak something. Dear potential reader, as you have noticed, there are no testimonials on the back cover of this book imploring you to read it. I veto that. The only testimonial I'm interested in is the one that you will have from reading and experience this book about yourself. Please do not read this book about me. Read this book about you. Read it about being. As you read it, ask yourself, who would I need to be a more loving person? Who would I need to be a more effective parent? Who would I need to be to create a level of confidence that is remarkable? Who would I need to be at peace with who I am? Who would I need to be fully in love with myself and my life? Who would I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? I promise you that if you read this book with the intention of expanding your state of being, you will do exactly that. Your experience will be remarkable. Who you're being is everything. Loving you, be blessed, be you. Stacy and I have done some stuff in the last few days, and on the plane ride down here, I have spoken to 3 total strangers, and last night at the hotel, and where I came from is never speaking anything about this book except about the reader. So on the airplane, when I got on, there's this African-American lady. It didn't look like she was having much fun. When I asked her a simple question when I saw her, I said, do you know a Jan Van Sant? And she said, yes, I do. That's all I said. Then a little later, I realized that I'm going to take the book and write a note to her from me and a Jan. And in it, I wrote to this gal who was the flight attendant. I found out her name. And I said, Stephanie, if Jan was with me right now, she would instruct you to read this book by reading the back cover and the front 2 pages, totally about yourself. I took the time to write that. And then I leaned over and I said, here's the book, read it about you. So I invite everyone today that's been here all the time. The book is about the reader. I could tell you so many experiences that I'm never wanting anybody to talk about anybody but the reader. So I'm sharing with you right now as a possibility, anytime, anywhere I'm at, it's finding a way to connect. Oh, hey, by the way, I have a really close girlfriend and she wrote this book. Guess who she wrote it about? She wrote it about you. And then I have them read the back cover and have them read the front 2 pages. And I commit them to read the book about themselves. And it's always, always a really powerful experience. This woman on the plane, it altered who she was being, how she was being. So back cover, anywhere I've been, I think Tanya, you and I did one. I was at a car dealership. The guy that I happened to work with, last name was Alvarez. All I asked him is, does he like to read? I took him out in the parking lot, took one of these books out, had him read the back cover, had him read the front 2 pages. And I said, you know, a person that's helping with this book, she's got the same last name as you. And I had Nelson Alvarez on the phone with Tanya Alvarez. This isn't some fancy thing. It's be present with the people, read the back cover, read the front 2 pages, and enroll them into their own state of being. I'm doing this with the flight attendant, and a man's walking by that's from India, and I simply say, where are you from? And he says, from Mumbai. I said, you know, I was just in Mumbai. Let me tell you what happened in Mumbai. Then I told him about our friend that was the hotel room guy, got up and read the back cover and the front cover. And I give him it and commit him to do it. I commit him, read it like this. If you want it, this is a gift. While I'm doing this, the lady that sits behind me said, whoa, what's this you're talking about? Back cover, front 2 pages. Back cover, front 2 pages. I'm driving down the street. A gentleman pulls me aside, rolls down the window, says, hey, how do I get from here to there? Meaning from his old truck to this little car he thought was nice. And I said, pull over and I tell you. I pulled the book out and I said, you know, I have a friend who wrote a book that tells you how to get from there to here, but you'd have to read it about you. And then I have him read in my doctor's parking lot when I'm going to a doctor's appointment, the back cover, front 2 pages. This is not rocket science. This is sharing somebody and enrolling them who they're being. We check into my hotel last night. She comes and helps me get the room set. And the guy that's there asks us a question. She shares the book. She shares what we did today with Sanika and convinced the man to read the book, back cover, front pages. So I'll read the front now. This is not theory. Note, thank you for reading the back cover and the first 2 pages each time before you read this book. I never wanted to write a book, and I haven't. I never wanted to have a book written about me, but here it is. This book is a gift from my wife, Amy, who wrote it, and my friend Alan D. Thompson, who conducted the research and interviews on which it's based. And it's not just a gift to me, but to you too. And typically when I'm having someone read that, I touch them. It's not a gift to me. This is a gift to you. This is a gift. And now you're reading it. So with your permission, I'll give you some suggestions on how to read it. And I'm not in any hurry here. I'm being with them. You see, this isn't an ordinary book. It's not a simple biography. And they're reading that to me. And I say, it's not a self-help book. I said, it's not. It's not a literary class. It's not. It's definitely not a book about it. This book is not about how to coach. This book's about being. This isn't for a coaching school or a coaching program. This is for anybody in a skin bag, a meat suit. In fact, it's not a book about doing anything. It's a book about being. And it's about you. To access this book, ask yourself these questions as you read. Who am I being as a partner, parent, or friend? Who am I being as a leader? Who am I being as a member of my community? Who would I need to be to have miracles show up in my daily life? Who would I need to be to create value in the work I do? Who would I need to be to alter my relationship with fear? Most of the time, people, they're crying at this point because they're getting who they're being. Who would I need to be at peace with my past? Who would I need to be to step powerfully into my future? Who would I need to be present as a way of being? Who would I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? Who would I need to be to know that my life makes a difference? Who would I need to be fully in love with myself and my life? Who would I need to be to improve my relationships with the most important people in my life? Who would I need to be to read The Ultimate Coach and have a personal breakthrough and being wonderful me? The best part about this book about you, is that it is endless. The story goes on, and it's written by your being. Loving you, be blessed, be you, Steve Hardison. P.S. Remember, every time you reread this book, please read the back cover and the first 2 pages before you begin. If you do this, your experience of this book will be totally different. Now I'd like to read a note from me, but before I do, my blood sugar is low. I need to go test it and drink some orange juice. So my partner will say whatever she wants to say, and I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. I have been blessed to have the Ultimate Coach here in Los Angeles. And one part of my document that I recently created is that I'm exactly in the right place and time to manifest and create miracles. So here we are. And 3 days with Steve Hardison, up close and personal, is an honor, a privilege. And I just want to share, and we'll talk more about our experience with watching Sanika yesterday, just fully in his loving and power. But what I do want to share is watching Steve, he's so present in his loving. He's not, we're usually in the junk in our head, right? And imagine if he just could clear that out and he's just there and he sees things that we're usually just in our heads missing. And I got his loving and service in such a deep way. And I wanted to share that with you. Yesterday, he's noticing if somebody needs water, somebody needs to go for a walk, somebody needs a hug. And it's the small details that can shift a world. And it brings me to tears because we act like we need to be so important or powerful or do huge things and cure things. And it's literally just showing up in our loving and being present with somebody. It's picking up a piece of trash. And yesterday, he shifted the room with his being. And not in intense big ways, in small, quiet, being present in love. And it's so available for everybody. It's even when you're tired, even when you're crabby, even, it's just get out of your own way, clear your thoughts and be present with somebody. And I've seen him give this book. I haven't had that experience before. I've seen him give the book, be with people, giving the book to them, being present. Last night, we got back at almost midnight. I was wiped out. This man, he's checking into the hotel, which is, and he hadn't had enough to eat, I don't think, my opinion. And he is being with the person checking him in, not trying to get an upgrade by giving him a book and being with him. No agenda. And this man, late at night, everyone's kind of tired. And it brought him to tears just by seeing him, being with him. And I experienced that this is going to shift these people's worlds. And not even because he's the ultimate coach, because he's a human being seeing the human being in front of him and being with that person. And I really got how we're all the ultimate coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you guys.
Okay, my turn to do a book reading. It wouldn't be a book reading for me, and I know I'm a rule breaker. Before I read this, I got to tell you how much grateful I am for Lorraine Warren for creating this, for Tanya, for Team Tuck, for my sister, Teresa, who has supported me so many ways, for my wife, for Eric, for all the people all around the world that get up and come to this book reading or post on the Facebook group or share the book. Nikki Amini, I think she's put so many books in people's lives. And I could just quote people after people after people. Gabby, and in your name too, whoever I'm talking to, don't have it be missed what you're doing. So when I say this book is about someone else, if you have this book to be about the reader, be creative about get them in it. Last night when we were talking to this gentleman, and I haven't talked to my good partner yet, or I would, she talked about me about the book. And, it's like, you don't need to do that. Just find a way to connect with who wrote the book. And you can do that. You got a dear friend, that's Amy, or you got somebody or a guy I know's wife. And then just ask, is my friend wrote a book. She wrote it about you. It's all about you. If are you interested in learning more about you? If you are, let me share with you what this book is and how you read it. And I've not done that. I haven't just given any a book. I haven't read the back cover and front 2 pages. And it's a beautiful experience. So I acknowledge all of you and Alan Thompson and my wife. People have given life. There are people right now translating this in 10 different languages. They're doing it themselves. They're paying for it. We didn't go ask them to do it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. A note from Steve Hardison. I might not get through all of it. By the way, we have an 8:30 hard break. We're committed to breakfast and then go to church with Sanika at his church. So at 8:30, we've got to go. I can remember Alan Thompson. He did all the research on the book. Then he comes over here and spends 90 days. He stays at one of my friend's casitas. And I'm seeing him in the morning and doing stuff with him. And he's been doing all this work in the background. And he says, I'd like you to intro the book. So he takes his closet, he takes pillows that are off the bed to do cushioning. And it's a little closet and he sets up a thing, a mic. And so when I read it, the front part is the only part in the book. I'm doing that in a closet in Alan Thompson's bedroom. You need to know this, like the background of everything that's going on here. What happens with Amy and what she does. She's working so hard on this with her eyes and people that have contributed and given their life. So as I read this too, and I say thank you, it's like I could go for hours just on what Alan's done. 400 hours of his life. My wife spent 3,333 hours of her life writing this book. I don't want to set it. Someone say, my wife did this for you. She wrote it. When you read this book, read it about you. And if they don't want to do that, I say, here, you don't need this book. I'm there and so get that book away. And I can tell you any worker at my house, and isn't it about because this book has something to do with me in it. That's how I would be with look when I had a Yanla's or someone's just like get people. Well, let me tell you what people are interested in really is their life and who they can be. It's a perfect conversation about them. To you, the reader, thank you for taking your time to read this book. I hope there was something of immense value for you in these pages. Thank you for being wonderful you. Please know that you make a difference. Your life makes a difference. Your being impacts the entire world. Please go get the butterfly effect and read it so you can understand how you're being. I'm talking to you. I'm not reading from the book. Each of you listening, I've said it before, get the butterfly effect. It looks like a children's book. Understanding your being. If I had 4 hours, I could tell the butterfly effect, how Sanika and I are in the room and how this happened here. And if I connected them all, you think, how's that happening? It's out of state of being. It's not out of state of doing. And doing happens, but it's driven by being. Get the butterfly effect and read it and see that your life makes a huge difference. Your being impacts your entire world, beginning with yourself and then with everyone you encounter each and every day of your life. Know that I love you. And when I'm writing this, I'm picturing any person. I'm loving them. I hope as they're reading this, like, hey, I love you. I love you. Know that others love you. Know that you are loved. To Alan D. Thompson, the researcher, as you may recall on more than one occasion, when you invited me to write a book, I declined. I always said to him, my book is my life. I don't want to do a tape series. I don't want to speak. I don't want to write a book. I don't want something like that. I want my life to be my book. I declined. You asked me why, and I told you that if I ever wrote a book, it'd be about being. And I know you can't write about it. If you're writing about it, it's not it. It's a state. It's not a thing. It's not a prescription. It's not a series of daily steps. It's being you and coming from a space of you. I also shared that I wrote a book on being, it would not be about being, it would simply be about being. I was of the belief that it could not be done. And I still am, because it can only be touched partly, because by the time you do it and you reduce it to writing, that's not it again. I remember one time when we were with Lorraine and we were on a book reading, and at the end of someone reading, it was pure silence. No one could say anything. I don't know if anyone was there, you'd remember it. You'd never forget it. And Lorraine just sat. She said, I don't want to say anything. And we sat on a Zoom call. 2 minutes or 3 minutes is like forever. And I witnessed something. So I said, Lorraine, I need to say something. You have asked, all of you have asked sometime me, what is being? I said, this is being. This is being. Perfect, brilliant stillness. And then you choose what to do with that. Be angry, be happy. But that space we were at is being. I let you know that my life was my book, and that people that shared time, space, and presence were my chapters in my book. Steve Chandler, Rich Litvin, Michael Neal, Byron Katie, Young. Those are chapters in my book. It's their lives they live, not something written on paper. What moved me off that position was your email in April of 2020, wherein you wrote, Steve, last night, God nudged me to write a biography on your life. Not because he'd write a biography. Man, this dude is like, he's like got used everything on me that he could get. And I'm no. And it's like, okay, God nudged you on this. Let's partner. God plus one's a majority. I'm digging her, and let's go. The rest they say is history. Thank you for your persistence, Alan D. Thompson. Thanks for your dedication. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for the hundreds of interviews you did. Thank you for the hundreds of hours you dedicated to this work. Then while he's here, as he's donating time to everything, he wants to work with me. He wants to work with me while he's here. He's doing this stuff, lots going on, and he wants to work with me. And guess what I did? I charged him to work with me. What? What? Yes, I wanted him committed. I didn't need his money. And man, it was a 2-second decision. And especially thank you for your brilliance and your magnificent way of being. To Amy, the writer. Amy, it's not very often that one's girlfriend invests over 1.5 years, it has a year here, of her life to write about her boyfriend. Now, some of you were at the Phoenix event, or the Scottsdale event, and they had me introduce Amy, and it took a little longer than a few minutes. And I told a little story of how this happened as a possibility. How did these two people so different from each other end up getting together and staying together? So I'm just going to have you play a little bit, play like there were gods before we came. If you worship rocks, have it be a rock god. If you have whatever your god is, have a council of them. So picture this council of the most brilliant women gods sitting in a room together, deciding, do we build an earth? Where do we put it? What's the purpose of it for? And these gods say, we're going to go down, you learn stuff on this earth. So they make this beautiful place. And then they look around at all these intelligences, or whatever you want to call them, the beings. And they think, yeah, this will be good for them. They can progress, they can learn. And then they see this gal named Amy Blake. And they think, well, I don't know if there's anything down there that can grow her more than this. And the gods are thinking, what do we do? What do we do? And then all of a sudden, all the gods, their eyes go big like this, and they go, put her with Steve Hardison, that'll grow her. That's my wife. I was and am totally blown away by your commitment and dedication to this and to me. I watched you each day for the duration of this project. There would be nights I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and she's in the office working on this book. She'd be crying on the book. There would be times that were so tender, like, I'm not sure I'm capable of this book. I have never witnessed such focus, such tenacity, such creation. And you did this for over a year, actually 18 months, 6 days a week, 8 hours or more a day. The amazing thing about it is the grace in with which you did it all. I live with a celestial human being that it almost doesn't seem fair. It's like, but I say, the way I can turn that into like a reframe is God must love me. I mean, he put her with me. Like, who are you going to put her with? You got to dig me. And as I often said, you are the most talented. You're more talented than any client I've ever sat with. You know, I'm sitting with people and they're good. Anybody can manage like Amy. There's no one that loves like Amy. There's no one who serves like Amy. There's no one who does stuff like Amy. It's like mind blowing. I've been in conversations that we know what it's like being with a wife, and I think, no, I don't. Not like that. Not this one. This is, and this isn't. She just is peaceful. You are a miracle. No wonder when John Patrick Morgan asked his wife if she would like to do a be with session with me, she responded with something like, to be totally honest, I would rather have a be with session with Amy. And I totally understand that. I get that. I get that. Thank you for the life you gave to write The Ultimate Coach. Thank you for the life you gave to create The Ultimate Coach. I have frequently said, no Amy Blake Hardison, no Ultimate Coach. You have loved me. You have healed me. You have created me. I am truly blessed. I love you, my dear, sweet Amy. The end. I suggest that as you've listened to me, I've talked to you about a few people. Alan D. Thompson. If you have not personally written him a text or an email or send a phone number, I'm inviting you to do that. That you actually share with him your appreciation. And if you've done it before, do it again at a deeper level. I invite you to do the same thing with Chris Nelson, who edited. He's out there in cyberspace, like not seen, but he's put hours and hours and hours in this. And you have acknowledged my wife. And I say, let's do an acknowledgement of my wife written. Don't call her up and the time would be hard to talk to everyone, but leave her a message or write something to her about that. And invite other people to acknowledge these 3 people for what they've done. So that's me reading my part, and I'll back up or I'll tell you about our miracle together or leave it. In fact, thank you for allowing me to be part of the program tonight. I've done that because I said I would before I did the retiring. I'm not retiring from coaching, just from a lot of other stuff so I can be with my wife and my kids. I will never retire from loving or being or serving or sharing, but I will retire from speaking somewhere or doing other things. It's just like there's so many people that can do that. So thank you. I love every single one of you. Ones I can see, the ones I can't. It's so amazing to see these faces and know I know these people. I love these people. I treasure these people. I'll turn it back over to you, Tanya, and if you want us to do something with time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for reading, and thank you for saying yes, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a massive impact of love in action. That is what you are for me. And I know that you demonstrate that for everyone else here on the call. And I'd love to invite the community, if you have a question for Steve and you'd like, or if you'd like to acknowledge him in any way, but if you have a question in reference to the book as well, in the instructions that he clearly defined for us in reading the book about ourselves, reading the back cover and the before you begin, if there's any question within that and you'd like to ask that question, please raise your electronic hand. It'll bring you straight to the front, and now will be the opportunity.
I'm going to instruct her how to do this.
At that.
Stacy, I'd love to hear from you, sweetheart.
Oh, I'm supposed to ask a
That's
question.
what, well, you
You
can.
tricked me.
No, I didn't do it. She's doing it. I'm here. So you either ask a question or you maybe tell them about watching that video and coming out there in the conversation we had. It's up to you.
Yes, I would love to share about the N-word taping yesterday.
Is that okay with Tanya and you and the group?
And
Yes, it's good for me. And then we'll go to the questions after. Go
okay.
ahead, Stacy.
Oh, hold on a sec. No, go to the questions, and if there's time left
Yeah,
to do this,
'cause-
no, you go to the questions.
Okay.
Love you.
All right. Then we will rearrange that. Lean, would you like to ask your question, my friend? Thank you for being here.
Yeah, first, thank you, everyone, Steve, Amy, and everyone. And my question is, I am translating some Gary Moller mails that speak a lot of the sessions that he had with you. And in my personal commitment, I am reading the back of the book, the first 2 pages, and reading the mails as I read this. And now I'm translating the mails into Spanish, and I want to ask permission to read this book and then read Gary Muller's sessions with you so people can benefit more for it. So I just want to ask for permission to use your
Are you
wisdom.
saying you want to go on the internet and do that at some point?
Yeah, into the Ultimate Coach in Spanish. I want to go to be there, read this part, and then the Gary Muller stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know this book's translated in Spanish, yes?
Yeah, in connection with Gary directly.
So you have the right to do anything you want with that book that serves people. So you can do that whenever you want. If you're talking about on the program now, that's not my call. But if you're talking about anywhere, boy, there are people doing book readings in different places that they can do that. Share the book any way you can and share it often. The more you learn to share, to have someone get to their state of being, it increases who you're being in the share, no matter what they do.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Lean, for sharing. Robert Twine, I see you. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Would it be okay if I just tell a short story about meeting Steve and my experience after reading the book?
It's your time. However you would like to take this time to share it, go ahead, Robert. I honor
Okay.
you.
So I somehow, some way I got connected with the BMS Steve Hardison video through Gary Mahler, actually. And I watched that video and Steve said something that really touched my heart. He said, if people can hate people for no reason, then I can love people for no reason. And I was like, I love this guy. This is cool. I like that. I love that, you know, it really touched me. And I was like, wow, you know, I think I even teared up, you know, it was like, wow, that's cool. I want to figure out. And he was talking about being stuff. He was talking about come to Mumbai. And I was like, I'm not going to Mumbai. You're going to come watch my kids, dude. Like, what's up with this dude? Go to Mumbai, go to Mumbai. Like, what? I'm not going to drop everything and just go to Mumbai. Right. And I thought, but he's talking about being, and I didn't figure. I was like, what is this being thing? Being. He kept talking about being, and I was like, I gotta figure out what this is about. And he was like, if you get being, your life's gonna change, right? You're gonna transform. Whatever it was he was saying, I felt really good about it. So I've sent him a message and I said, hey, I'm really interested in having a more fruitful way of being. What do I need to do? And he said, guess what he said? Get the Ultimate Coach book and read it about you. Be blessed, be you. And I was like, done. And I did it. And I had another experience where I came across a video where he said, stop blaming other people for your own creations. And I'm like, that's really awesome. How do I do that? I'm going to send the dude a message. How do I do that? And then he does something I couldn't believe. $200,000 coach calls me on Facebook Messenger and says, I'm like, is this guy butt dialing me or what? This guy's not in my realm. This guy's $200,000. He's never going to talk to little old me. And he calls me, and it changed my whole world. He said the answer's in the question. I couldn't figure it out for a while, and then I got it. I stopped blaming other people for my own creations. It's the answer. And what happened in that moment was he disappeared levels for me. That I realized that there are no levels. I am the same as Steve. I can be love in every moment. I can choose to be love, and that changed my world. And I read The Ultimate Coach, and I have had an amazing shift of my being. So I want to say thank you so much. It's amazing. You delivered on your promise. You delivered on your promise, and it's so amazing. And I love you all. Thank you so much. It's just such a joy. This is who I be. This is who I be. I be who I be. Here I is. You know what I mean? I love it. And Karen, thank you so much for giving us that beautiful display of being who you are. I love that. So thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for sharing. Truly, always an honor to have you present and with us. And wow, I remember when you were first introduced to the Book of Being, literally like when you were first introduced. So what an honor to see you along this journey and growing your being. So keep going, my friend, keep going. You're a blessing to all who know you. Annette, hi, Annette. I see you. Would you like to unmute and share?
I just have a question, and I'm fighting that same feeling of it not being important enough. But Steve, how do you keep being so present when you physically don't feel well? I'll just leave it at that.
Yes. So when I travel with my diabetes, it's hard for me. It messes with when I'm exercising, and I exercise and keep my blood sugar great. So I do experience stuff where I don't feel well. And I'm really grateful for the work I've done with Byron Katie, because and whenever I learn something, I apply it. I don't get information. I get it experiential. So I remember being with her, and she was talking about this person that was dying of cancer. And it just really, bottom line, it's like if you're gonna die of cancer, you can either die of cancer being happy, or you can die of cancer being sad. So when I'm not well, I'm coming from a place of I'm not well and I can still be happy. I don't feel well and I can be happy. Or maybe, I don't know, last night I may have got 4 hours sleep, and it's like someone says, hey, if someone said, hey, how much sleep did you get last night? I say, the perfect amount. So I instead of languaging it like something's a problem, I see the blessing in it. And when I get sick, like a cold or something like that, I just am like, I'll lay down and be in my bed being sick, and I go through and think, man, these fingers work all the time. Look at this body. The only way I know how good this body is sometimes I get sick, so I know what it is. And I'm thankful for being ill. I'm thankful for big challenges. I'm thankful for I had the worst experience of my life in November. I just face planted. But if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't have learned. I look back at it and say, that was so good. So I'm looking at what I can learn from any experience. And a lot of times I don't. I'm stupid and I have to have it over and over again. But eventually I kind of get it. But when I wake up in the morning from working and speaking to myself versus it's not good, I'm excited to get up. I mean, I literally feel like a 5-year-old finger painting. I can hardly wait to get up just to connect with people, see people, and whatever challenges I have. And that's not some special thing. We can predict what we're going to do before we do. We can decide we're going to be happy in a situation that's not so good. And I do that all the time. And sometimes I just love the what could happen here and how could I lovingly do something with it rather than the reaction of, and I could share 1,000 stories on that, but it's just practicing it. So look at the time when you're not well, or you're sick, or even you just got in a big argument with your partner, your lover, your friend. It's like, what can I learn from that? And most of the time we don't. We blame the other person instead of, that's a blessing. Oh, we were in this little event. We had one of these. And there's a guy that's in the thing, and it's like, he isn't really supporting anything. And we're just noticing it. And then my good friend here, the general, you'll know why she's called the general later. She goes up to Senika and says, "Hey, do you want me to quiet that guy down?" And he says, "No, that's useful for me." So she comes and sits back down and she says, "Look how perfect it was. He wanted it, and this guy shows up." Sometimes we're trying to fix problems that aren't problems. That's the short version. Thank you for the question. I hope it helps somewhere.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Annette, for a wonderful question. Matt Evans, hello, sir. Welcome to our call today.
Man,
What a great honor.
that's
How
my
are
man.
we all?
Great to see you.
Indeed. Where's Mr. Hardison? I can't see him.
Amen.
Right. One question. Out of all those statements that of the who would I need to be, which is the one that resonates the most with you most of the time? Which is the one that kind of gives you a, oh, yeah, I who do I need to be that at a point?
It's not on it's not on the book. My favorite one's not on the book, and there's others that aren't. Who
It's
would
due to go red. I'd never know that before.
Oh yeah, oh yes, that's a condensed number for someone to, yes. Who would I need to be to love no matter how someone treated me? I've been threatened to be killed. And you can decide what to do with that. You can imagine that's happening and you say, man, I got to go down somehow. I didn't know it was going to be like this. And then have a conversation that might change it. I'll give you an example of one like that. My daughter-in-law, Marin, was going to marry my son at the time, and she wanted to go out to interview the dad about the son. I thought that was really brilliant. And we're in a parking lot at my favorite little Mexican restaurant, and it's in a rough part of town. And a guy came up and basically said, "I'm going to take your money, rob you, and all of this." And I said, this is and I introduced him, "This is my daughter-in-law." He says that, and I said, "This is my daughter-in-law." And I said, you need to do that. And I put my arm around him. I said, "You don't need to take anything from me. Why don't you come and have dinner with us?" And the guy that owns the store knows me, or the restaurant. And I said, this man is going to have dinner. He'll probably need to sit out here because he's been drinking some, but take his order and take care of him. I've had people say, "Okay, let's put you in a really, really tough situation. Let me see how you love this one." So you're driving your little fancy black car, your little sport car, and two people decide they want to take it. And they stick a 9mm in your face and say, "Get out of your car," and start swearing at me. How are you going to love him? I said, I've thought through that one. That one's easy. I'm going to tell him, "You do not need to steal my car. I promise you, I'll give you the car, and I won't arrest you later or go do anything else. This is the only way we were ever going to meet. This is going to be a great deal. You don't have to go to prison. I get to be alive. You have my car, and we become friends." So my favorite questions are ones that keep coming. And I invite people to read the questions on the back and the front, go through it. And then whatever particular things in the world be, who would I need to be to figure out how to get a new board? Who would I need to be to come with the technology? So the state of being is what creates the questions. And I have thousands of those. And it's like just practicing. Being is a mountain with no top. It's all journey and no destination. And it's available to everyone. And no one has more of it or less of it. No one has some talent, a better way. It's all being. So, and I love all the questions. And I think questions are much better than answers. And nobody here says, when was the War of 1812? Because I could have got that one right. Or how much is a 59-cent Coke? I can know those. I love you, Matt. Thanks for all the work you're doing in Birmingham. Thanks for what you've done that no one even knows. Thanks for what you've done with the Children's Hospital and all the hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I love you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Matt, for that awesome question. Matt, I'd like to know which one's your favorite question?
So, honestly, the one that Steve just said is something that, has been occurring for me anyway lately. And it's
You're getting
it's
practice.
really ironic because, Steve knows some of the stuff that's gone on around. Like he says, there's stuff that's always behind the scenes and a lot of things that have gone on. But I think when I came into this whole thing 2 years ago, who would I need to be at peace with my past? That was a huge one. And I think now, who do I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? Although I might slightly go rogue myself and change live to create.
Beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Absolutely profound.
Can you say something?
Yes, of course.
We just had a little conversation here and realized that we cannot eat our breakfast, and we'll spend time with you so we don't have to run out at 8:30, and we'll just go to the church meeting and we'll fast today.
We're living
Only
our-
if
living our-
only if you will be okay with your diabetes, Steve.
Oh, yeah, I'm
First
all
and foremost, your health is important to us.
It's in the background over here.
Okay.
And that's just an offer. If at 8:30 you're done with us, boom, we're gone. If you'd like us to stay, we'll stay.
Well, I think it's a beautiful opportunity. So thank you for even offering this. How about it, everyone? Are you okay to stay a little longer if Steve's willing to stay a little longer? Yes, that's what I thought. I
Not
didn't
if
think
it's
that
at
we
the
would have.
expense of him looking after him. No. I'll tell you straight.
I make sure I'm feeding him and giving him things. And
Oh, I've been taking amazing.
Perfect. Thank you, General Stacy. I appreciate you. Miss Vanessa, hi, sweetheart. Would you like to share? Great to see you.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I just got late, but it was really important to me to get in here and share what I'm living right now. And it's happening because of this community, because of what I've been learning. So since I got from Arizona and I met everybody in here, it has changing me the way I speak people. I understand, finally, I understand how to be loved,
Yes.
how to be creative in action. And sometimes when I'm not being that, I know how to get back to that. And I want to thank you, everybody, to thank Wolfgang, because he taught me how to breathe. And that it can be easy, that things doesn't have to be difficult. Even when we are in love, things doesn't have to be difficult. In the past days, a company asked me to give them a conference, and I changed my way completely. I speak about creating. I was a little bit scared because I think that they won't like what I will tell them. But that day, I remember what is something in the book when it says to Steve Chandler, if you're not that, what you want to be. And then I remember every speaker in the Arizona experience. And I just think I'm gonna be them, all of them,
Yes.
and I'm gonna speak them, the people that is in this event, I'm gonna speak them from my love. And then I talk about the power of creating. They just write me again. They want me to continue speaking about that. And
Beautiful.
right now, I just finished a session with women that they have visual disability. A training that I used to have about leadership, I changed it. So I use the same one, but I get everything that I've learned. And this time, not only hearing or being in the sessions, is being that person. And I share to them. And I talk about that they can create everything they want, even if they can't see what they are doing or what they are creating, because they just has to be. My tears right now are of happiness because I feel I'm doing something that is going to people that they think that that they can create anything because they have a condition. And that's what I'm here. Sorry, my tears. But I'm really happy to meet you, everybody, in Arizona. It have been so many things that have changed in my life in just 2 weeks. And I want to thank you. Just that.
Thank you.
Thank,
Gracias.
thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa's from Ecuador. And Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us through your commitment of being here and your commitment to really grow. You've been here and committed to so many book readings and the afterglows, and you've truly been working on your being. And wow, thank you so much for sharing and for spreading the love of being and the possibilities wherever you are doing that in all of the South American or Central American countries that you travel to in the Spanish community. So thank you.
Thank you. And one more thing. I'm writing every day. I'm creating stories. You don't know how much time I'm being postergating. I don't know if that is a word but I'm writing, I'm doing it. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful, Vanessa. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Miss Elizabeth, hello, winged woman. Let's go.
Hey. All right. So last book reading, we read about HSPs. Steve, this has been one hell of a journey for me since I picked up this book and started reading it about myself. And last book reading, there was just so much more that just came to me. And I wanted to know, what do you do that's the most beneficial to regulate yourself? How? What? Help me out here.
I'm not sure I understand the question. What's your specific question?
So, as an HSP, you personally, what have you found that like works best for you? Like, is there any one thing that's kind of your go-to?
So that I can deal with it, or
Yes.
so what I do is I look and see where it causes damage, and I stop doing that.
Thank you.
It's easy to know. Just look at what's happening with people around me. And I'm under construction and I've made a lot of mistakes. And I've hurt people and I'm not meaning to hurt people. And so I just modify something that's more loving. And then I've taken my whatever it is that's in me and decided what I'll do is take all that power and energy and put it into listening to someone. And listening is a form of creation. When I listen, I'm creating them. I hear what they say, and then I have it be the best that I can have it be, no matter what they've said, because that's what we're doing anyway. We just do up or down. They're saying that and we think they're a jerk. We create when we listen. So one is I notice where I do damage and I reduce that. And I take my energy and instead of like, I use it to listen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for your question. What a powerful answer, Steve. Thank you. Miss Wanda.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I'm sitting here right now and I'm vibrating with this most beautiful energy, and I felt it before, but this is the longest period of time that I've felt it, and I absolutely love it because when I feel this, I feel like I'm connected with the divine in me, and I guess that's why it feels so beautiful. And I feel it in the things that Steve says as well. And I also feel it from the people that are part of this group in the things that they say and do. And I had an experience earlier this week where I wasn't feeling my best. And that was showing up for me in my being where, excuse me, I was feeling frustrated. I was unhappy. And I was depressed. And I didn't know what to do about it because it was about my life. And so because I didn't know what to do about it, what I did was I had this conversation, this inner conversation with myself, and I said, and it was a conversation with God as I understand God, and I said, okay, I said, I'm just lost. I don't know what to do about how I'm feeling. I don't know how to move out of this. So please guide me and, point me in the direction that is best for me to move towards. And things happened as a result of doing that were quite wonderful. So as an example, I was directed to open up a book where I had done some writing, and the first page that I focused on or stopped at was a page where I had written my ideal life. And I cried. And then it went to another page where I had done a 30-day process for myself, where in the morning I would get up and I would allow that energy to speak through me. And so a lot of really interesting things came through as a result of that. So I was directed to one of those days and the writing I did on that page, and I cried again. And I've shed a lot of tears here this morning And what's really beautiful about that for me is for most of my life, I never felt comfortable crying. And I always felt like I had to apologize for it, or I would suppress it. And what I realized now is I was suppressing myself, right? Because these feelings that that show up as tears, they're expressed through that emotion of releasing. That's me, right? So when I don't allow that to happen, I'm suppressing me. And I also believe it's the divine in me being expressed as well. And just yesterday, I got another. And so the question that really stood out for me today, which is another moment when I cried or when I shed tears, was who would I need to be fully in love with myself in my life? Wow. Because that's what I was frustrated about. That's what I was unhappy about. That's what led to this state of depression that I went into. Thankfully, not for very long, only a couple of days. And then I remembered as well, I got this insight yesterday. I've had some experience with the 12 steps in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And the third step is made a decision to turn my will and life over to God as I understand him. And I was reading another book actually by David R. Hawkins, and he mentioned that. And so this is the divine direction and guidance that keeps on occurring in my life ever since I had that conversation. And I thought, wow, this what I did a couple of days ago is exactly the third step in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I turned all that stuff in my head and my will over to the divine essence that is within me, that I had been blocking with all of the dissatisfaction and frustration and lack of love for myself and so many other things. And now, since I did that, it's like this floodgate. Like if you can imagine the Hoover Dam all of a sudden breaking free and all that water rushing forward. That's how I'm feeling now. Like it just keeps coming forth and coming forth and coming forth and coming forth. And I'm beginning to connect with my brilliance, with my purpose, with the love that I am. And I've received so much gold this morning in all the things that have been said. And what I see in a way that I never really saw before is the divine within everyone. And that is a beautiful thing. And I wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for being introduced to this book and this group and the people in it. And it's all by divine guidance. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you for your beautiful share, and thank you for consistently showing up as well, doing the work and being so vulnerable to share and so courageously. You share always so courageously. And so I just want to acknowledge you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Steve Shaw, I see you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, great to be here. Yeah, Steve, I have a question. There was a quote of yours and that Eric posted about observe, observe, don't absorb. And that always kind of, it tripped me up a little bit because I always came from a being where absorbing was good. to be absorbed in this, to be absorbed in, was in the flow. So I just want to ask you the question of that distinction of observe and not absorb.
Yes,
That's
I'd
all.
be glad to do that. The way that came up is I have a daughter, Stephanie, who's been in and out of treatment, attempted suicide twice. Just a lot of challenges. Beautiful gal with ideas that were not quite like, she didn't think we loved her. So you have an idea of how much that could be to not be loved by Amy. The ideas in the head are a lot stronger than what's really happening. So she's became really good at being a therapist to help people with eating disorders. And she's really good because she knows all the tricks and all the lies and all the stuff. Because all the addictions are about lying to oneself. And one day she says to me, Dad, I know you do a lot of good with people, and you're with people, not just with somebody for a week or month, you work with people years, and you have a lot of different people all in the same week. I can't, this is just so hard. How are you dealing with all these problems? And I said, I'm not. I observe, I don't absorb. And I'm not talking, I don't absorb in places that are great, but I don't absorb the pain. I can be much better. And I'm not talking about being empathetic or compassionate. I'm talking about most of the time when I'm listening to what they say. I'm not getting lost into their drama or their trauma. And it's not that I'm not or grateful for what they're experiencing, but I'm observing it. So from a neutral place, I can then bring what I can do to assist. And many times the assistance is listening. It's way underrated. I remember one time being with Dion that was probably a 5-hour session in my office. I probably said 100 words. And when she went back home, she wrote me a 3-page document that you'd think this lady and I must be seeing each other on the side. The love that she had, and what I did was listen. I observe, I don't absorb. And if it's something really good that's going to be healthy, man, I'm going to absorb all of that. So it's not like I observe and I never absorb. It's I observe and I observe and I don't absorb when it's like something that if you did 2 or 3 of those, it takes you out. Why would I do that to me? Then I can be useful to them. That's the short version. And everything that's a statement that I have in my life, it's just a statement around that thing that happened, because there'd be another conversation I'd have about how can you really absorb something, but it would be absorbing something that really grows you. So it's not a law, don't ever absorb. It's in that conversation with my daughter.
I got it. Thank you very much. I'm clear. And thank you for the addiction is lying to yourself. That was powerful for me as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing your question. Miss Beautiful Cheryl, hello. Welcome, sweetheart.
Hello. Hi, Tanya. I don't have a
Hi.
question, Steve. I just want to share something that is probably going to be shared by everybody here. But through you, through the incredible research of Alan, and through the amazing penmanship of your beautiful wife, Amy, my entire life has changed, every aspect of it. And I've been so blessed as an extension of that to hear stories of so many faces I'm seeing here. And through who everybody in this room is being, is that beautiful web of being that's just created something. And one question I actually wrote it in my book, is who would I need to be to hear everybody's story of being about me? And that is just such a beautiful thing to be able to receive what anybody has to share, as if it's about me. So I can hear myself in every single story ever that's shared. And there's some powerful, powerful stories, right? And I would love, is it okay? I have a really short little poem to share. It's just kind of a little bit of fun. I actually sent this to Steve on his birthday. It is a poem about Steve. But again, it's not about Steve, because we are connected here. We are in community here because of Steve. but yet we all hear the same thing in him. So it's just fun. It's not deep. It's just silly and fun. Are you okay if I share? Is this okay? Amazing. Another year of life to come. Another year around the sun. Another year of coaching space. Another year miracles create. Another year ceiling to floor. Another year of serving more. Another year of flags that fly. Another year of the being guy. Another year of carpet raking. Another year of conscious creation. Another year of the book of being. Another year of deeper seeing. Another year of the ultimate coach. Another year of showing hope. Another year of Amy's guy. Another year of reach worldwide. Another year of suggestion. Another year of the answers the question. Another year of SFHKAB. Another year of who you be. Another year of document making. Another year of being shaken. Another year of lives so moved. Another year of being you.
I love it. Thank you.
Oh, so fantastic, Cheryl. Thank you so much for sharing. That is beautiful. Um, you had me giggling in a few parts of there, and I think I heard Steve giggling too. Thank you for sharing you. And for those that don't know, Cheryl is listening and writing your stories. So if you haven't connected with Cheryl, please do so. She is writing an extension of Being Stories and how the Ultimate Coach book has impacted our beings. And she's writing a separate book about that. So if you haven't connected with Cheryl, please do. She is just an absolutely beautiful blessing to have here in our community. Thank you, Cheryl, for who you be, sweetheart, especially to me. Thank you. Miss Dinah, hello, my friend. Great to see you, sweetheart. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Oh, I have an echo. Can you hear my echo?
Yes.
Is it annoying?
Do you have the video on for Facebook? If you do, turn the sound off. If you have the live on.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I wasn't going to share with so many people on the call, but when Wanda said that she had been depressed, somehow my hand went to the click and I knew I had to share something that's been rattling around in my head as I've been listening to you all, and I just wanted to share it. So how I started with this whole being movement was a very good friend of mine called me out of the blue one day because Steve, you had called her and had such an impression on her. She'd commented on a post that you'd made and you called her out of the blue. And I listened to her talking. I had no idea who you were, but I thought, who is this guy? Because my friend was flying. And I thought, what? Wow. So at the time, there wasn't so much on YouTube, but I found what I could. And what impacted me was how you spoke and let emotion come through you in a moment and that you owned it. And that had a massive effect on me because that happens to me all the time. And so then my friend gave me the book and this is my second book reading and it's been truly transformational. But in January, I had dinner with Rebecca Shannon, who's on this call, and I shared a story with her. And that was that I went skiing a good few years ago with a group of girlfriends. And on the last day, I went to buy some chocolates for presents for people. And I was just buying a little box of chocolates in a proper French chocolate shop. And I just connected with the guy behind the counter and we had a lovely chat. And as I was leaving, he gave me this enormous chocolate fish that was so intricate and beautiful. And it was just a present. And I was so touched. And I went back to my girlfriends and I said, you won't believe it. This man's giving me this enormous chocolate fish. And one of the girls immediately ran out with her purse and went to the chocolate shop because she wanted the chocolate fish. And of course, she didn't connect with the man behind the counter. She didn't get a chocolate fish and she left very fed up. And that has been rattling around in my head lately, because I realized that as I was going through this being movement, I needed what my friend had had. I needed the call, the feeling that she'd had, that Steve had called her personally. And when I got that and I started being instead of needing, it had a massive impact on me. And the irony of that is, once I'd really understood this was about being and who I was being, then Steve, I met you in Scottsdale, and I had my chocolate fish, and the words of wisdom you gave me had a huge impact. They were just a very short meeting, but I realized that what I was doing was blocking love. And that was my takeaway from Scottsdale. And I've spent the last 2 weeks traveling around all friends in America, and I've had nothing but love. And I've spread the word of the book, and so many of my friends have ordered the book. But I just wanted to share that because I just really got it's about being. And just to say thank you to everyone on these book readings, because they've had such an impact on me, and to you, Steve. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dinah. Thank you for sharing. And again, thank you for your commitment of being here every Sunday and your willingness to grow and share you and through your own vulnerability as well. So, oh my gosh, I feel your love. It was such an honor to be able to see you, meet you in Arizona, and also meditate in Sedona with you. Oh, so beautiful. Wonderful time spent. Thank you. Mr. Ralph. Hi, Ralph. Thank you for joining us again. Great to see you.
Hey, I just came from a sports match that my dad, who's in hospital, gave me the ticket. So apologies for late. I don't know if my question's been asked because I typed it in the box. So first, a short acknowledgement. I'm trained as a mental health peer support worker, and what's been said about depression, mental health, addiction by Steve and everyone since I joined are just more gold nuggets and gems to share in that community. By reading the book of Being About Me, it gave me a framework to liberate myself from a number of complex mental health comorbidities, including trauma. And every time I speak about it, it helps so many people with a mental health struggle. So I just wanted to acknowledge the whole community and Steve for cracking part of the human matrix. So now my question, which is not so much about the self, although it always will be about being, and I've never read this out loud, but the extemporaneous speaking champion, Steve, that was when you were a young man. I can hear someone's mic. Is that just me? It's just me. Okay. So, as a young man, I had very similar visions. I wasn't raised religiously, but I was elected at my student union, many, many people from around the world of different religions. And I felt this threat of Armageddon rather than the hope and encouragement that we can make the most of things as human beings. So I wanted to ask, with the wisdom of going round the sun many more times since then, Steve, the message at the end is clearly the same, I imagine. You know, instead of divisiveness, we have love instead of hate. But is there anything in your being now that you would add in terms of us achieving that goal beyond the being movement in other arenas and circumstances, how we can work towards that beautiful vision that you shared all that time ago?
That's a very good and deep question. So let me do the best to answer what I heard you say and also maybe assist you. You want to connect with Bill and Linda Pettit and tell them I asked you to come. They're current clients. They both have degrees in psychiatry, psychology. They work with you just have a great conversation with where they're coming from and what they've created working together. So Bill and Linda Pettit, would you just communicate however you want to them? Facebook, call me and get a number or whatever. So that's that piece. And then this is going to be a strange way to answer that question, but just listen and you'll see that it does, and it'll answer the other two that you didn't ask that are hooked on to the same question. I was on the phone the other day with a gal named Dr. Sasha Hines. I'm in the Home Depot, and she texts me and she says, I'm going to start a new ideology area of psychology that's never been. I'm going to create it. And so she gives the name of it. It's like, you need to have a Harvard PhD to say the name of this psychology. And she calls, and we're just visiting. And it's so simple what she's saying. She keeps talking about maturation, the psychology and the things with trauma and mental health. It's not maturation. It goes back. It goes back. It goes back. It doesn't move forward. It doesn't have some hope in it. It just keeps here. And I said to her, you do have a whole new area of psychology. You've said it to me about 15 times. And she said, what did I say? And I said, start listening. And I'm saying this to everybody, start listening to what you're saying, because all the answers have fallen out of your face. So I said to her, you've said the word maturity or maturation 10, 12, 15 times. And you sent me an idea of something that someone would have to get a book to figure it out. I said, I want you to know that as of this conversation, you are creating a new whole technology of psychology. It's called the psychology of maturation or the psychology of maturity. And we made it up. And then she said, oh my gosh, now I understand what happens when I'm in an office with you. What happens, and she said she'd been studying on this, is you have moved ideas in your mind so that what happens is life force energy is in you. Life force energy, you call that God, you could call that being, life force energy. And she talks about life force energy. I come in, I'm with you, your life force energy gets me free. And she says, I said, watch this new psychology that you're creating about maturation. What you do is as you mature, move forward and you grow, it takes out the past, the arrested stuff, and what shows up is life force energy. So anything, any place that you are creating life force energy, whatever the Byron Katie, forum, whatever, religion, it's how do I get rid of what's not good or let it go? Because when I do that, life force energy shows up. And then she said, that's amazing. I'm going to be writing a book. And I said, what's the name of your book? And she said, unarrest your development. So you're going to unarrest it. If you arrest somebody, you're going to unarrest your development. Stop moving it backwards and unarrest it. So she's got that. I said, you also want another book called LFE, Life Force Energy, because you're seeing it. Now watch this. And I just put this together. I mean, it's just sitting and listening. I said, you have a new psychology of maturation or maturity called POM. As soon as I'm saying that, her head's just exploding. And I said, watch what it is. And you've got it. She says, you hit the nail on the head. I said, no, I just listened to you. These are your ideas. I said, when you unarrest your development, what you increase is life force energy. So the purpose of the psychology of maturation is to unarrest your development, and what you have is life force energy. So he that hath ears to hear, hear. She that hath ears to hear, hear. Dr. Sasha Hines is creating that. That can be gotten anywhere that I forgive and I love. Life force energy is everything. And I say it's being, and I say it's what people call God. And I'm not taking away from a corporal God or some religion. I'm saying that's in every person. That state of being, that life force energy is what creates. The less I have stopping that, the more life force energy. And the life force energy is unlimited. You can't get it all. And the only thing that gets in the way of life force energy is judgment, hate, and all the other states of being that they have their own life force energy, except it goes that way. All there is energy. Can't be created or destroyed. And the ultimate energy, I'm telling the truth, I'm telling you my ideas, is this life force energy that allows me to have this thing here. And now I can choose to be kind. I can choose to be a dork. I can love. I can hate. That's life force energy. And when I hate, my life force energy goes that way. I have the same amount of it. I'm just put in that way. And when I do this, it can go this way. So I hope in there you heard answer to your question and some others. And I would also say, whenever I say someone's name, please take the time, Dr. Sasha Hines, and say, that's amazing what you've come up with, this new psychology of maturation, this thing about unarrest your development. And wow, life force energy. Acknowledge her in it so it creates it. And see what I'm sharing with you to do, I'm doing all day long. I don't gossip, I godsip. GODSIP. I get good information and I move it around. Even if I get something bad and it's true, I don't move it around. It takes my life force energy that way. I want my life force energy that way. And we're choosing it. And it's like all of a sudden you decided to save money. You'd have a bunch in the bank. You start doing great stuff with your life force energy. You're not bankrupt the other way. You're wealthy. And I'm talking metaphorically. I don't need money to be wealthy or rich. Did I scratch your itch?
Yes, very much, and very much appreciated. And I'd like to hand over to someone in the community. I appreciate all of you so much, and Steve yourself. And please say hello to Amy.
Consider it done.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you for your question. Chris, I see you. Hi. Welcome.
How's it going? First off, I'm going to say hi, Steve. I wussed out on coming up and saying hi to you at the TUE when somebody called me on it a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago. He's like, you wussed out, man. You wussed out. So, hi, my name's Chris Morrison. I live here in Gilbert. We've contacted a couple of times on Facebook, but I appreciate you and you and Amy in this community. I appreciate this community very, very much. My question is, I love it that I love it that Amy put in the book that there still are arguments. There's still two very passionate people that fall away from who they are being, and the crux of the question is once that happens, what is the process to get back to being, or is just maybe a little bit of insight there, because I put something up yesterday, just like I am falling from who I want to be a lot lately because of just situations, and so what's the thought process or process there? Thank you.
First of all, I'd love to meet you sometime, Chris. And we're that close. That would be really great. So as a possibility to be as short with time, my idea is you can see somebody going along in life like this. It could be in a relationship or with yourself. And everything's going really, really great. And then all of a sudden it goes like this. Chris, do you know what happens right here when it goes from here to here? There's something that happens right there on that. Do you know what goes on?
It's a thought.
It's a thought. That's it. And you're down here and it goes from here to here. Guess what's right there?
Another thought.
The thought. So we get it really complicated, and then we get tied into our thoughts. If I want to go down, have a thought like that. If I want to go up, have a thought like that. So then I can realize that my document, which is a misnomer, it's not this piece of paper, some structured way. Everyone has a document. They're living it. It's in their mind. They just don't write it down. So if I can begin to see that I'm speaking this thing that's in me, and I can upgrade that to create life force energy, then what I can do is realize I don't need evidence of this thing that I put on a piece of paper or how I'm going to be. I create evidence in my speaking of it. I'm not looking for it out there. I'm creating it in the moment. So I could screw up with my wife, be really a dork, and I could go, oh, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. Or what I can do is I can recreate, I forgive myself, and begin creating in the next moment. I'm loving kindness. I've had situations where I'm upset at her, she's upset at me, and it looked like what happened? Somebody threw them in a different color paint and they came out a different color in the moment. That's accessible.
Thank you so much.
We are choosing our. Can I say one more thing to you, Chris?
Absolutely.
Are you single or?
We're
I'm doing
going
some
through a
short
divorce.
looking guy. In case you're single, I'm going to do some.
No, we're going through a divorce right now, so
Okay, so
it's
then this would work. This would be really easy for you then, and anybody else. Have you ever been in an argument with this woman you're going to divorce, and you're just going cats and dogs with each other, and you're pissed?
yeah,
You had
yes,
a friend,
absolutely.
Jesse?
Say that again. I couldn't hear.
No, I'm just joking. So you've experienced that. Now, have you ever had one of those where you're really going at it, and then your phone rang, or your soon-to-be ex-wife's phone rang, and you're just going cats and dog, and you pick up the phone. This is you, Chris. Rah, 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 and then, hey man, what's up? Have you ever done that?
Absolutely.
That's how fast state of being can shift. It's a decision. I've said it to wife. Oh, this is Frank. Hey, Frank, what's up? And then you put the phone down, and guess who you become now?
Previous version.
That's correct. That's all we're doing all day long, and we're choosing it.
Awesome.
We just don't think we are. So, oh, they're doing that to me. No one can make me angry, and I can get angry. They do something, and I decide to get angry. It's all the same. It's not rocket science, it's farming. What seeds are we planting? I hope that helped.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for being here. And it was wonderful meeting you in Arizona. I look forward to seeing more of you and having you join us in the upcoming season as well. Okay, I see 2 more hands raised, and I know we're getting down to the wire on time. So I want to ask Steve and Stacy, how are we doing on time?
We have about 6 minutes.
Okay, so then if I may, I would love to invite you to share about your experience yesterday with Sanika. And I would love to invite our 2 additional shares to hang on for the after party to ask your questions, and we'll make sure we'll also get your, if they are questions, we'll make sure we get those questions to Steve as well.
Thank
For him.
you. Allow them to go first, and I'll go last, and whatever time is listed, let them have time, and I'll condense mine.
All right, there you go. You have it. So, Mr. Daniel, you're up front and center, sir.
All right. Thank you, Tanya. Steve, thank you. Question is this. You touched on a little bit earlier, Steve, about listening being a creative act. And for me, from my first contact with the Book of Being, one of the biggest shifts that came for me was saying, oh, I have certain values that I hadn't even realized were valuable, listening being one of them. And so it's a 2-part question. Would you touch a little bit more on listening as creative act? And then the other part for me is that I find when I am listening, there's something like I disappear. And in some way, that's when I feel best in my life. And it's almost like when I'm not listening, I almost feel let down in some way. Like part of me comes back that is, it's not a disappointment, but it's not like sort of an altered state in a way that feels somehow better. I don't know if that makes sense, but whatever you can get out of that, I'm happy for.
This is going to be a metaphor, and they'll all fall short. But this, as you're speaking, and I'm talking about this process of creating through listening in this conversation, not the whole realm of everything. Picture this metaphor. Picture you walk into a room and things are not in a good place, and you can see how you can put them in a better place than where they were at. Stuff's on the floor. This picture would go good there. You just sort it out and make it beautiful. I listen from that place. I'm listening from, okay, this is what I have. How do I make this beautiful? How do I interpret this as being the best? How do I give them the benefit of the doubt? How do I get this room to look the best? How do I get my garage? And it's not about fixing or changing. It's about interpreting it as the best. Interpreting as the best. What's the best thing happening here? Because see, you get to create that. You and I could listen to the same person talk, and you hear the X, Y, and Z, and you have it be whatever it is. I hear X, Y, and Z, and I see something that's really great because I'm taking something to the conversation called a commitment to have this be great, even if it's a pile of shit. Because as you know, underneath that shit's a pony. You don't get the shit without the pony. So I'm looking at it like that. And then it becomes a place of fun to be able like, wow, what kind of conversation could I listen to and make it beautiful? And the person that's speaking that to you, they experience that. State of being, life force energy. and it's practice. That's it. I mean, that's it for that time we have in what we're saying.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, for your question. Dave Orton, as long as your eyes stay on the road, sir, please. I'd love to
Thank
hear
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I just wanted to share about me a little bit. When I first met Steve, when I first spoke with Steve, my entire life was dedicated to being right. Penny couldn't be right. Nobody else could be right. My religion was right, and I was right. I didn't realize any other possibility than that. And I wanted to share with you that today I went and blessed a friend of mine as they made a commitment to God in their tradition, which is not my tradition. And I wanted to share with you the beauty, excuse me, the beauty of living from and. The beauty of honoring someone else's point of view and my own. I used to think that if I ever did anything to honor anybody else, it would mean that I wasn't right, or that it would denigrate or cause harm to my point of to my point of view's validity. And Steve and everyone here, you have helped me to see that I am greater and we are greater and everybody wins. And everybody gets to have their relationship with the divine or not, or their higher self, or whatever it is that is for them. Life force energy, I love that term. And my job is to love people where they are and whatever point of view they have. And that's who I am now. Excuse me. And thank you, Steve. Thank you all in this group for being examples and helping me to see and discover the possibility and the fulfillment of the possibility of being loving and allowing everyone to have their point of view without making anyone wrong. And that's what I wanted to share. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so committed throughout all of the seasons, from season 1 to season 4. Your presence has been extremely powerful and appreciated. Thank you for your willingness to grow through the book of being with each of us, which is exactly what the book readings are created for, is an opportunity for all of us to gather in community as we read the back of the book, as we read the Before You Begin, and as we dive a little deeper into each chapter. We're planning on switching things up a little bit in season 5, and so we'd love to hear feedback from you of what are some needs that you're feeling in the community. We would really like to listen to you to be able to support you with those needs and how we can construct our next book reading season to support those needs. What are the deep topics that you're really looking at and would love support on? So we can look at who are our guest speakers, our guest readers, and so forth to be able to serve you and create this loving force in our community to be filled so much so that you can go out into the world and continue vibrationally sharing love and impacting the world as you are already doing so. And so I want to honor and thank each of you for spending so much time with us throughout the season and here today. I know we've gone over our time, and I would love to just take a moment to acknowledge our team TUC for season 4, Harry ACL. Thank you so much, Harry, and James Klein, Irene Jenkins, Teresa Holdaway, thank you for being the foundation of support for our group in all seasons. Tom Lipinski, Elaine McAuliffe, Victoria Green, Farah Ishmael, Martha Jeffers, Fadi Gonzake, and Marie O'Halloran, Elizabeth Forrest, Maria Luz Engren, Olga Kabarova Campora, Emma Edwards, Ken Altenbach, Cassie Footman, Andrea Vossler, and Carrie Rickabaugh. All of the names that I just read off to you, these are beautiful beings in our community that realized they wanted to step into service and they wanted to grow and serve the community in some sort of way, and how could they be a part of it. And so we've been meeting 1 to 3, well, we meet 3 times a week, but what's asked is to be at least one meeting as we co-create together. And so truly this book reading and these events are created to love, serve, and create a safe space for each of you to feel loved and grow in as you are reading the book about you. And so it is an individual experience. It is a transformative experience, but it never has to be done alone. And so I just really want to honor and thank you, all of Team Tuck, who have put in time, energy, commitment, in your service, bringing your gifts to our group and to our community. So if you are, any of you that are on the call, if you could raise your electronic hand, I'd love for you to just pop up to the front so everyone can see you and acknowledge you. I know that many of you are not on the call. And so, but for those that are, please pop up there. Thank you. See, I see Elizabeth here. Miss Martha is here with us. Andrea Vossler is here. Elaine and Carrie Rickabaugh. Thank you so much for being part. Oh, and Farah Ishmael and Fadi Gonzake as well. So thank you. Again, anybody here has the opportunity to be of service in your own community, in your own family, and in our community as well. We are all learning and growing, and what a beautiful opportunity to feel supported and loved and surrounded by love as you are growing through this incredible book about you. And before I pass it on, all of the team, you can go ahead and lower your hands. Thank you so much for being here and being present in your service. And
I'm gonna hijack you for 2 seconds because I just want to say thank you to you and acknowledge you as well, Tanya, because without you being here and taking the lead on this wouldn't be possible. So you are so much of Team Tuck. Thank you.
thank you, Elizabeth. I honor and acknowledge your acknowledgement, and it is an honor to be here to love and serve in this community. I personally have been loved and served, and so much of what was spoken today is so truthful for me, because I remember a question being asked at the Arizona experience is, how do you work on your being when you're surrounded by people that aren't working on your being? And I love the answer given. It's a great opportunity for you to work on your being. Wow, that's so phenomenal. And so it's all of these little golden nuggets that Steve has shared with us today. Thank you, Steve, for your commitment and the way that you serve. You serve like a giant. Of course, they made that book Giants in the Smalls about you, because you are a giant and you're teaching us all how we can step into being the giants ourselves. We are. There's no reason for us to play small. We can listen to our hearts. We can allow ourselves to be ourselves. But it does take a powerful act of peeling back the layers that are no longer serving us, forgiving ourselves for the judgments, and allow ourselves to love and create from that space, from love. We always have that opportunity. So thank you so much, team and community, for being present and growing me as well. Wow, what an honor it is to be here to grow with you. And I would love to pass it over to Miss Martha to close us out with our closing announcements. Miss Martha.
Thank you, Tanya. Your leadership is extraordinary. Your insights are magical. Your intuition is beyond. Your ability to be present allows me to be more present. Your loving kindness spreads throughout all of us like ripples in a lake, in a river. I so honor you for saying yes to lead us in the way that you lead us. Because of your modeling, I am a better leader. Because of your presence, I tend to be more present, and I choose to be more present. And so I am in such gratitude for you and your leadership with all of us. Thank you. Steve, I heard for the first time today, after reading the book so many different times, what I heard today about me is that I'm always creating my document. And I never really understood it till I heard you say that today. And you've said it many times. And so my awareness is, how do I really want to create my document? And it's not that which is written in a piece of paper. And so for the longest time, I have seen myself as small, as not having the ability to have the leadership that exists within me, that was given to me, that has been divinely given in a way that I am to stand in my own power, to be of service to the greatest depth that I can be. And I can see where all this time I've created a document that is opposed to that which I just spoke. So thank you for your modeling, the constant opportunity to create through every word that I might say. And it starts with creating my husband. And it starts in creating that which was given to me 50 years ago when I prayed for a spouse to be by my side. And it is up until now that I can say I am so divinely gifted with a perfect, absolute perfect person to be by my side. So thank you for your modeling. I so acknowledge, Elizabeth, thank you so much for being mod 3 today, with allowing us to, or mod 2 today, really, mod 1, all of us in our way of serving in reading and community. Thank you so much. This has been a season of incredible growth for me, and I know for all of us. It's been a season of opportunities for so many to come and learn about being. So thank you, all of you, for being here today. Wanted to let you know that we will have One Love Connection Bingo is now open. And if I'm not mistaken, it will be open till midnight tonight. Would that be correct, Tanya? Yes. Okay. So tonight, so anyone wanting to be part of the Bingo Connection, please make sure that you sign up. It's magnificent. The more we get to know each other, the more we can create our being and community. I also want to acknowledge the past event in Arizona, which was magical for so many of us, so impactful, so brilliant, the way it was all brought together by beautiful Judy Thorson and Eric Thorson. And out of that particular experience, we were able to create 111.11 that was donated for the child sex trafficking experience, the dollars that went to protect our children around the world. And if I'm not mistaken, there was even more money raised after that, but I'm not sure of the numbers, but it has grown exponentially. So it's a thank you to everyone, and it's a thank you for our creation in being and supporting these children. Let's see, there's so many beautiful things coming up in May, in a couple of months. We will be connecting once again in Birmingham, the 2B24, the Ultimate Birmingham, which is exciting. People are starting to talk about it because it's so close. I really encourage you to think about, tickets are still available. The experience in the UK is May 25th and 26th. All proceeds from this particular event are going to go to the Cochlear Hospital, and this hospital provides hearing for children who are suffering from hearing loss. So again, what a beautiful opportunity to support the children of our world. So many resources that are available. The Ultimate Coach has additional excellent resources to access to support the movement of being, the Ultimate Coach YouTube channel, the Ultimate Coach podcast, the Ultimate Coach IG, Instagram, the Ultimate Coach LinkedIn group, and certainly the Friday live interviews with which Carrie, beautiful Carrie, is part of, and she is the MC for this. So thank you, Carrie. Can't wait to see what Friday brings us. And anyone interested in the Ultimate Coach Extra, extra information about the book, you can find it in the ultimatecoachextras.com if you're interested in that. And Tanya, anything else that I may have not focused on?
Miss Martha, I think you covered it brilliantly, but I would love to give the one last opportunity to General Stacy and Mr. Steve Hardison if they would like to share anything else additionally with us and their experience.
We'll do it very quickly. And so please hear this. Sanika is unbelievable. We're there yesterday. We get there at 3 o'clock together. We leave a little after 10. And what he's doing is redoing something that's 5 minutes. The passion at which he redid it. We had two different things. One's called a white take and a black take is what they do at the background. He did 17 takes on the N word that if some normal person just repeated it, they'd be exhausted. Yet he's doing it with all of his energy, and he does that 17 takes on one. We were there till that time. So know that the N word that's coming out, you're going to see a video on it that everybody's contributed to, and we're wanting people to help because it's not inexpensive to do it. But make sure you see the work that's done on the N word and know that at the end of it, I looked at him and I thought, I've been around a lot of people. I've never seen anybody be that powerful for 7 straight hours. And he gave his life to the thing. So anybody who's a wingman or wingwoman, listen for it, appreciate him. And then I'm going to have the general, watch this. She's had an experience from the very beginning with this whole thing and a whole series of miracles all the way to yesterday. I'm going to ask her to go and either do an audio or something so it's not cut short. She can give you the pieces of it, including just things she said that made things happen and any background she wants, and tell you all the way up to here. And that way you can all go your way and you'll get a deeper story and you'll know why she's called the general.
Yes, I will do that within the next week, and it will only be part 1 because this thing is just beginning. And just really thank you all for supporting this movement, sharing really important conversations, changing the world. This is a mission. Thank you for your loving. Thank you for your listening. I think there's a GoFundMe that would be really wonderful. There's it takes money to put these things together, and we're just getting started. And thank you. Thank you for being wing women and wingmen. It's beautiful.
Wait till you see it.
Yeah.
And don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Wait till you see this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And is there an approximate time where we will be seeing it out of curiosity?
Currently, we're looking to launch this on the 29th leap year. This might change. So this is just for us. But the goal is, leap year comes only every 4 years, and the goal is sooner, but by next leap year, this is not in anybody's vocabulary.
Oh, wow.
But that might change. We're working it every day. So to be determined, but we will definitely keep you posted as this is moving quickly.
Now I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say something because you can throw me out, or can I say 60 seconds of something?
Go for it.
There is a thing called zero defects in manufacturing, and companies want to produce zero defects. So on their wall, they'll put zero defects. In a serious manufacturing operation, that's impossible. You cannot get zero defects. There will be a defect someplace. So when we say that in 4 years, that word will be gone, we're saying zero defects. It's better than saying, oh, 25% of the world still, we're coming from the place that we're going to eradicate it. And we understand we can't, like zero defects, but it's going to make the production line better. So if somebody going like, wait a minute, that's impossible. Yeah, we're coming from the impossible to get it much better than it is. That's it. Hope that made sense.
And now we go pray with Senika at church.
That's where we're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Well,
Before
and-
you,
yes.
before you go, is it possible, Stacy or Steve, to ask what church? I'd love to go there.
I don't know.
We don't know yet, but we'll definitely.
It's the perfect one. We can
just-
call you.
Yeah.
We'll find out on the way.
Today?
Yes, I'd like to go there today.
We'll figure out and we'll call you or text you or somehow.
Absolutely.
You'll know where.
Yes, it's in an hour. It's in Covina.
And it's casual clothing. It's
That's
not,
all we
it's
know.
not fancy.
Okay.
You have her information?
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Perfect. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank
Rose,
you.
we love you. Thank you so much.
Thank
guys.
you, Karen, for the dance. And my man, Matt, I love you. If I could grow a
Thank
beard-
you, Steve. Thank you, General Stacy, for being here. Thank you for taking that extra time with us. And I wish you to get a little bit of breakfast if you're able to on your journey to church. So
We have been
thank you.
just now. We've been fed a meal.
Yes.
Man, it's been great. Thank you for feeding us.
So I have a surprise for everyone. If you did not know and you would like access to season 4 book readings from chapter 1 or through today, you can access it by going to tuckbookreadings.com. And that is just a simple way to find all of season 4's book readings. And we are excited to regroup as a team. And we will be bringing season 5 with some new energy and so just a lot of excited energy to grow with you. And if you have anything that you would like to share with us in Teen Tuck as we are creating, and again, you see a need in the community and you think that what you have to share would be something very valuable to bring to the community, please do reach out to us and we would love to hear you. Just as Eric Lofholm likes to keep an open door of communication, I would like to keep that open door of communication as well to freely reach out to us and share what has been impactful for you during season 4. I would like to invite you to share in the Ultimate Coach Facebook group as well. Because of your shares and through your shares, it is a great way for each of us to grow. Because as we heard today, it is oftentimes that we resonate or we experience someone else's share and we see how that also resonates in our own life and it grows us as well. So I invite you to share. And I see so many incredible, beautiful beings that are truly creating magic in the world. I see it. I feel it. I felt your energy. If you were in Arizona, I felt you. I experienced you. And I am so excited. Let's do this. Let's all get up and shine and be our best selves and know that you don't have to do it alone because you are supported by this beautiful, loving community. Creating your documents, getting clear, that beautiful share that was shared today about the difference in looking at our document and how we're creating ourselves on a daily basis, whether we're creating ourselves the way we want or whether we're looking back on our past and we're letting our past control us and create our future. Now with this awareness of our being, once we create awareness to it, we can shift it at any time. What a beautiful blessing. What a beautiful blessing we are all creating in this world by being better versions of ourselves, by being love for ourselves. and by being a united, massive, connected force of love throughout the world internationally. Thank you. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being willing to share the book of being at a massive rate, and you being the ripple effect in your home, in your life, in your communities, and in the world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Martha, do you have anything else you'd like to share? Or did she hop off and run to church? There she is.
Oh, I'm
I see
here.
her.
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, this was an incredible day today. What a wonderful way to end our season 4. It was just the exclamation mark and the book of being for all of us, and certainly for me. Thank you so much, everyone, because it's the energy that we experience with all of us together that makes this possible. We can do it with one person, we can do it with 2, not a problem. But when we have a whole community, it adds to my growth and experience of life. So thank you. Yay.
So at this time, I invite all of you to take yourselves off mute and say goodbye. See you later. See you soon. If you'd like to share and you didn't get an opportunity to share on the call, we will
I just
keep
want
the
to
after party open for a very short time.
I want to thank you, Tanya, so much, and all of you for inviting me and gifting me this precious space to share my love and gratitude. Thank you so much. It means the world to me.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing. I believe I'm not the only one to probably feel this, but you shared with me new ways to even express myself and to feel and allow energy to flow through my body. So thank you for showing up so powerfully today. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
everyone.
That's great. Thank